Hey, Steve from Dunbar Photographic. Got one. The Chunky Monkey 72. The RF 7200 F4L. Picked it up last week and got it for about, this is not, I didn't buy it brand new, but it came in the original box, original packaging, all plastic wrapped, technically renewed. Got it for $300 less than a brand new one. And I have to say, I am insanely impressed. The 7200 G2 Tamron is going bye-bye because this will replace that. It's a fraction of the weight. You can hold this lens with 2 fingers, no problem. Yes, it came with the lens hood. I'm going to put a couple links in the description. For anyone wondering if this is less capable than the 2.8 version, I'm not going to buy a 2.8 for $1,000 more after seeing the performance of this thing. Yeah. So I'll put a couple links in the description of a couple channels you need to go check out. One I think is Christopher Frost. I think he does the basically lab tests using charts. And what he said about this lens was one of the convincing factors. The other video channel I'm going to put up is in regards to street photography with this lens in incredibly harsh environments. This guy shot a Tango Jack, I think his name is Tango Jack. And it was done in the snow. It was snowing, I think in Pennsylvania somewhere. I saw that, and it was low light, man. It was rough going. He had no issues with this baby. So what I did was I paired it up with the R7, which gave me 320 millimeter effective focal length with the APS-C 1.6 crop. And what I'm going to do is, if you want the specs to the lens, there's plenty of other things, but that Christopher Frost video, you gotta see that, because some of the functions on this lens, he said, were better than anything he's seen, and he literally analyzes endless variety of lenses. Anyways. So we're going to jump right into focus acquisition, subject acquisition with autofocus, the autofocus speed, the eye tracking, subject detect, the ability of it to hold on to a subject once you initiate focus. I think you're going to see that this thing is lightning fast. And this was shot in low light. This was not great light, but that f4 aperture, yeah, it's one stop slower than the G2, but I really didn't see any difference. And the one thing I will say that I've discovered regarding the R7, if you go back to my video on the R7 and the eye detect and the situation, the problems I was having, I'm 99.999% sure that it has to do with the speed of the lens. So the 100-500 is a 7.1 at 500 millimeters. Now, you can't really compare these two lenses, but my point is that the slower the lens, the more tweaking you have to do with your custom functions, your buttons on the back of the camera to selectively choose when it's appropriate to use eye detect, one shot, with the slower lenses. I didn't see any of that. So I've modified my button setup on the back with subject tracking, and it works on both lenses now, just as fast in low light. I think there's one image in this series that I'm going to show you that I got this morning with the 100-500 on the R7. And it just bang, it nailed it. So I'm going to go through. So the first thing we're going to look at is the autofocus, speed and accuracy. And the second thing is I'm going to roll through in-camera captures, completely unedited. They're actually in the camera. And I'm going to whip through them so you can see how sharp this thing is. It's amazing. It's really, really, really good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through my back button setup that I modified, which works on the 100-500 7.1 and this one, the 70-200 F4L. All right, so let's get right into the video. Get this running. Okay, you can see the speed at which it grabs the eye. And I was shooting with a monitor, so I just turned eye detect on, and you can see it snap down to the eye. There it is. See it hold on? I mean, it's holding on good. That's busy in there. And that's a tough one right there. That sparrow, he was barely peeking up over that thing, and it grabbed it, no problem. That's quick. Bang. The minute that eye appears, that thing just bang, snaps right to it. Eye detect was not on right here. Just focus tracking, and animal detect was on. And this was underexposed. I forgot to put my compensation on. Some of these were over, some of these were under. The light, you can see the light changing rapidly here. That was under. Has no problem picking up the head though, even if eye tracking is off. All right, so what we're going to do now, we are going to run through captures in camera, completely unedited. And I'll get a reasonable crop, and these all should be somewhat decent. So goldfinch, that was +1 1/3. I'm not going to talk too much. I'll just scroll through and let you look at them. Sharpness is bonkers. It's tack sharp. That one's a little soft. Feather detail is awesome. Just off the chain, man. Look at that. Look at the detail in that. Insane. Juncos are difficult because they're almost black. They're charcoal gray. Get the feather detail. You gotta bump the exposure a little bit. Okay, these were under. Should have been probably a plus 2/3 on this. Nice. Down the barrel, no problem. High ISO on this guy, that's all noise. But remember, that's the cowbird that jumped onto the perch. But it grabbed it, no problem. Light was really low here. I think that is a house finch. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Look at the color saturation. Bottom right-hand corner, you can see the goldfinch there. And look at the colors on that thing. That's completely unedited. That's right in the camera. It's on the card. What you're seeing is on the card in the camera right now. It's just beautiful. Pretty major crops here, by the way. It's about 12 feet away. So 320 millimeter equivalent. Okay, that one right there. That's the one I was talking about. That's the 100 to 500, irrelevant for this video. 100 to 500 shot on the North Station. It was chucking down rain, and this poor guy was soaked. But that's with the new settings on the back. So that's it. Now we're going to jump into. I want to run through my modifications. So I'm going to show you a couple things in the menu, which I think have changed a little bit. And that was a JPEG. That was a large JPEG, by the way. You can see it in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to play with that a little bit regarding rolling shutter on the R7. And I'm going to see if that makes the rolling shutter a little bit better, because, and I'm going to do a comparison. This was at the maximum size JPEG. I'm going to do a comparison because captures are so good in this camera. I want to see, I looked at the file size and it's the same, I believe. The pixel dimensions between a CRAW and a JPEG. Now, of course, you can't, it's not a raw file, so you can't go in and do the massive tweaking. But, and this is a major crop, so this is about 35 feet away. So, okay, let's get to, okay. So let's get down to, oh shoot. Okay, get through here. Most important things that I changed. Okay, so I have a custom function 1. This is how it's set up. I have subject tracking set to on, eye detection disabled by default. Go up here. This is the same as the other video. I shoot in case 1 with tracking sensitivity and Excel decel tracking, both all the way down. I think that's it for that. Everything else is the same. So let me roll up. I got to get up to the buttons. Okay, customize buttons. So this is how I have it set up. I have the shutter button, metering, and AF start. All right. If we go down here, now remember I had focus tracking on by default. So what my AF on button does now is I have that set to one shot servo. And what that does is it stops the focus tracking. If I have a very still subject, I can put that on and it will just lock it up. All right. So if we go down here, my star button is eye detection on and off. This is the same. This is my autofocus point button, area selection. This is how I hit that button and I can scroll through the different autofocus points. And that is it. So, looking forward to doing some street photography and other stuff like that. So, more coming. It's going to serve, this bad boy is going to serve multiple purposes. I can tell you that right now. I love this thing, and I love the new RFL glass. Compactness, the performance, it's amazing. We'll see y'all later. Happy shooting. I wish you all good light. It's absolute misery here in Vermont. It is raining all the time. It's just East Coast Seattle. That's what I call it. Kind of like the UK, I think, right? All you UK shooters out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Catch you later.